4 o'clock, ABC 10 News at 5 starts right now.
Another suspected smuggling boat capsizes in San Diego waters. One person is dead tonight. We're going to take an in-depth look at the factors driving up these dangerous attempts to get into the United States. Plus, efforts to reach San Diegans not yet vaccinated for COVID-19 are now headed door to door. The new campaign underway. And an East County community is celebrating after learning that Douglas Badger, a sexually violent predator, will not move into their neighborhood.
ABC 10 News at 5 starts now.
It is an all too familiar scene. For the third time just this month, there has been a suspected human smuggling attempt in San Diego waters, this time with deadly consequences. Good evening. I'm Steve Atkinson. At least one person is dead and 10 others were rescued from that boat that eventually capsized off of La Jolla shore this morning. In all, 15 people were taken into custody. We have team coverage on this story, beginning with our ABC 10 News anchor Lindsay Pena joining us with the latest on the investigation tonight. Lindsay.
Yeah, Steve, this all happened just before sunrise this morning. The waters were still pretty dark out here and they were pretty rough and choppy. We don't know exactly where that panga was headed, where they were trying to get to, but we do know that they ended up coming ashore here in La Jolla. And as you mentioned, unfortunately, one person lost their life. Border Patrol says it was just after 5 a.m. that they began tracking a small boat off the coast of Point Loma. At the time, conditions were rough.
We have 4 to 6 foot surf and some heavy currents.
As the boat made its way up the coast, people began bailing out. San Diego lifeguards were called in to help rescue some of the migrants who were dumped in the water near the Marine Street beach access.
8 people detained coming in on a Rescue 3 vessel.
The boat then managed to make it over to the children's pool area where more passengers jumped out. Lifeguards say it took nearly 30 minutes to get everyone out of the water, but unfortunately, one of those rescued died.
A lot of times these vessels are not seafaring vessels. They're grossly overladen. You know, they're packed with gas cans. They're packed full of people with inadequate or lacking safety devices.
Border Patrol says there were 16 people total on board, but only 15 survived. There's no word yet on ages of those involved or what country they originally came from.
All of the individuals were determined to be unlawfully present inside the United States and were transported to a Border Patrol station for processing.
And we did see lifeguards show us some life vests today. They say some of those migrants were wearing life vests, but not all of them. As you just heard that Border Patrol agent say, there usually isn't a whole lot on board. Now, today's rescue is just the latest in a wave of cases along our coast. ABC 10 News anchor Derek Stahl is live from the Coast Guard headquarters with what's behind this surge of crossings at sea. Derek.
Hey, Lindsay, the number of these boat smuggling incidents is way up. Experts say we're on track for a record year, and there are several factors at play. Things like pent-up demand, desperation, politics, and the pandemic. It's now happened at least 3 times this month.
All right, we got these 2. They're just cold right now.
A smuggling attempt off the San Diego coastline that turned into a desperate rescue. On May 17th, 23 people had to be pulled from a boat off Point Loma that got stuck in the surf line. No one was hurt, but on May 2nd, another boat smashed into a reef off Point Loma and capsized, killing 3 and sending 24 to the hospital.
The maritime thing has surged. We will hit a record this year for maritime apprehensions, almost certainly.
Dr. Ev Mead is a professor at the University of San Diego. The Border Patrol San Diego sector says it's seen 172 smuggling attempts by boat this fiscal year, and it's made 1,063 apprehensions. Their record is just over 1,200 apprehensions. It was set last year.
If we get over 1,200, we're like, wow, for the maritime border. Okay, but again, the land border, 178,000 in April. Okay, so it's just it's much, much smaller phenomenon.
He says migrants typically cross by land because it's much cheaper, 3 times cheaper by one estimate. But he says migrants are increasingly desperate for several reasons.
Well, part of it is Tijuana. We've got, a lot of people waiting in Tijuana to come, and you have smugglers who are coming in and making them an offer.
There are thousands of people still camping out just south of the border who were excluded by President Donald Trump's Remain in Mexico policy. President Biden is beginning to unwind that policy, but experts say the situation on the ground hasn't changed much because he's kept another law called Title 42. This law kicked in during the pandemic, and it allows the Border Patrol to immediately expel migrants for health and safety reasons without a hearing. Experts say the end result is that many people who have waited in camps for months or years feel they don't have a shot at asylum.
They tried to go to the port of entry, they tried to enter in a more orderly fashion, and they've been turned away. What happens? That's the same thing as people who've been waiting for a couple years to apply for asylum. They try the desert, they try the river, they try the Otay Mountains, they try the ocean.
And Professor Mead says the final reason there's a spike in people trying now has to do with the pandemic. And he says you can see that in the data.
Last year, it was mostly families and children. This year, we have some unaccompanied kids and a whole bunch of single adults. And they're coming to work. It's just that simple. And it's because the economies in their home country have been devastated by the pandemic. And we've recovered faster than they have. U.S.
restaurants and agriculture businesses have jobs they can't fill. Migrants feel they have no shot at asylum. So they try another route, increasingly the dangerous one by sea. Not only is the Coast Guard and the Border Patrol expecting a record number of maritime apprehensions, experts are also predicting a record number of migrant deaths. So far in 2021, at least 117 migrants have died while trying to cross the U.S.-Mexico border by land or by sea. Now, if you want to go even deeper on this topic, the ABC 10 News in-depth team has built an interactive map where you can actually see exactly where all of these recent smuggling attempts have taken place in our county. You can find that on 10news.com. For now, reporting live, I'm Derek Stahl. We'll send it over to Lindsay in La Jolla.
Thanks, Derek. And we're going to be talking even more about this topic, but coming up at 5:30 in just a little while, we're going to actually talk to one of our media partners over in Tijuana at Televisa TV. She's going to talk to us about what she's seeing as far as the migrant situation is across our border and why she thinks that some of these people, as you just heard, might be risking their lives to come over here. She's going to tell us just what she has witnessed. So that, again, coming up at 5:30. Reporting from La Jolla, Lindsay Pena, ABC 10 News. Steve, back to you.
Desperate and dangerous issue that has to be covered. All right, Lindsay, thank you so much. Now to the latest on coronavirus here in San Diego County. 145 new cases were reported today. That brings our total to almost 279,500. No update was given on any deaths today. COVID-19 vaccinations in the county, they are slowing down. Today, county officials said that there are more vaccines than there are demand for the vaccines. Right now, we are 67% of the way to the county's goal of having 2 million residents vaccinated by June 15th. Now, in order to hit that goal, county officials are setting up more mobile vaccination sites.
You know, there's folks out there that are willing to get vaccinated, but we gotta take it to them. We have to do it in a little bit more convenient way. We gotta try and incentivize and engage folks who want to get vaccinated.
The mobile vaccination sites will be popping up across San Diego County in the coming weeks. These locations will be at libraries, community centers, religious institutions, and more. Efforts to reach those not yet vaccinated in the county are now headed door to door, as we mentioned. Our ABC 10 News reporter Michael Chin reveals the campaign state officials believe will be key to getting as many people vaccinated as possible.
Over the past 3 weeks, canvassers from 2 local nonprofits, Alliance San Diego and Partnership for the Advancement of New Americans, have been going door to door in underserved communities in San Diego hard hit by COVID. Christopher Rice Wilson is Associate Director of Alliance San Diego.
We are confident that we will make a huge difference in the low vaccination rate amongst people of color.
The outreach begins with a knock at the door. The goal is to educate and help set up COVID vaccine appointments by overcoming barriers like technology, misinformation, and language.
When someone knocks on your door with information who looks like you, who talks the way you talk, who lives in the same neighborhood you live in, you're more likely to listen to them.
The canvassers hired as part of the statewide project Healthy Future California, which is partnering with UCLA. The state kicking in $20 million in hopes of reaching those not yet vaccinated. Rice Wilson says the peer-to-peer appeals are working. So far, the two groups have knocked on more than 6,000 doors in San Diego County, sometimes following up with phone calls.
The people we talk to who have not been vaccinated, we're seeing about a 65 to 75% success rate in making appointments for them.
That's translated into more than 500 vaccine appointments.
We want to make sure that these communities are a part of the solution and that they know they're a part of the solution and that we can all play our role in keeping our community safe.
Bryce Wilson says his team of 20 will continue to canvass 5 days a week until the end of June. Michael Chen, ABC 10 News.
And across the state, canvassers have knocked on more than 230,000 doors and made 13,000 vaccine appointments. More cruise ship workers, they're also getting vaccinated against COVID-19. 179 crew members from Holland America's Nordam got their first shot today. This is all thanks to a team from Sharp Healthcare. They'll come back to San Diego here in a few weeks to get their second dose. This is the second day in a row that a vaccine team from Sharp Healthcare distributed those shots to those cruise workers. And the Biden administration is sending a very clear message that it will not tolerate racism. Today, the president signed the COVID-19 hate crimes law intended to curb an alarming rise in hate crimes against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders. That new law requires the Department of Justice to appoint someone dedicated to tracking and reporting hate crimes. It also provides extra support for local and state law agencies investigating hate crimes. And the House has also approved a $1.9 billion to protect and fortify the nation's capital after the January 6th insurrection. The bill passed today by just one vote after some Democrats joined Republicans in voting against it. Now, it includes money for new fencing to protect the Capitol grounds. That bill now goes to the Senate, where it faces very strong opposition by Republicans who argue the bill is too expensive. And there is increasing pressure on former President Donald Trump as the criminal investigation into his business continues to grow. ABC's Alex Perche has the latest on the investigation.
This is Alan Weisselberg, the longtime chief financial officer for the Trump Organization, who sources tell us for months has been the subject of a criminal investigation by New York's Attorney General's office over possible tax fraud. Sources tell ABC News the investigation started with a referral from state tax authorities, questions over Weisselberg's compensation and whether taxes were properly paid. Donald Trump's longtime CFO has faced a similar but separate investigation from the Manhattan District Attorney, though he's not being accused of any wrongdoing. But pressure on the former president is growing. Sources telling ABC News the Manhattan DA wants to use Weisselberg as a cooperating witness against Trump and his organization. Weisselberg's former daughter-in-law, Jennifer, has already been interviewed by the DA's office. Earlier this month, she said this to ABC.
Some of the questions that they were asking were regarding Alan's compensation at the apartment at Trump Place on Riverside Boulevard.
She says she was also asked about his spending habits.
One of the questions the investigators both agencies, was is Alan generous or frugal? Is he cheap?
Trump has long said these investigations are political.
These same people that failed to get me in Washington have sent every piece of information to New York so that they can try to get me there.
And after the announcement of this criminal probe, he released a lengthy written statement calling the investigation a political and partisan witch hunt, adding, "There is nothing more corrupt than an investigation that is in desperate search of a crime. That is exactly what is happening here." The Manhattan DA won a Supreme Court battle to get 8 years of Trump's tax returns and other financial records. And now he and the Attorney General's office are working together. Lawyers and accountants poring over thousands of documents. Alex Perche, ABC News, Washington.
The bloody 11-day conflict in the Gaza Strip is ending for now. Today, Israel and Hamas agreed to a ceasefire, a truce that was brokered by Egypt. The fighting began when Hamas militants in Gaza fired long-range rockets towards Jerusalem. Now, this followed days of clashes between Palestinian protesters and Israeli police at a holy site. And today, President Biden said his administration would support reconstruction efforts in the region.
I believe the Palestinians and Israelis equally deserve to live safely and securely and to enjoy equal measures of freedom, prosperity, and democracy.
At least 230 Palestinians have been killed in that fighting, including women and children.